And folks, join me in welcoming Baylor men's tennis coach Michael Woodson, our leadoff guest tonight. Michael, welcome to you.
Good to be here.
I appreciate it very much. This is fun, getting going. So we went through the fall, had a little break, and now we're going again. So ready to hit the ground running, which you have done. 2-0 start to your season already.
Yeah, it was a great start last Sunday at home. I thought the guys looked really good, sharp. You never know what you're going to get in those first matches, and you think about working the kinks out, just getting the competitive juices flowing again. And our guys were locked and loaded, and it was fun to watch and great to be a part of. It's the best time of the year.
Yeah, it's fun. So 2 wins last week, and for you, tell me if I've got the numbers right. Career victories number 99 and 100 for Coach Woodson. Milestone 100th victory.
Well, thank you very much. It really is a testament to the program, to these the incredible staff that we have, and the amazing student athletes. I mean, there's really too many to name, and it's fun to see some of them here loading up on some barbecue. And they're the ones that are doing all the real work, and so it's a pleasure to be able to serve them every day.
That's great. Is it? Do you stop and smell the roses at all? I mean, it's 100. That's a significant milestone.
It does go by pretty fast, I have to say. Yeah. You get so caught up in the day-to-day of working with these guys and just trying to build the program in the best way that you can. So it really causes you to step back, especially hearing from some of the former players and different people, when something like that happens, to step back and think about the amazing moments and times that we've had together. And some of them are really cool experiences and are victories that go towards the 100, but a lot of it is just the experiences that we have in between matches, going through, guys' careers, different staff members that have come and gone, and you just have amazing opportunities to create bonds and relationships with people, and that I really love that. So it's really special for me just to celebrate those people.
Good. Well, congratulations. We're proud for you and very happy you reached that milestone. How about we'll get to where 101 and 102 are going to come from, hopefully this weekend. That would be big. Let's go back to the fall first. What is your schedule when you finish the fall and then you come back and start getting ready for the spring season?
Yeah, the fall was a little bit different this year in that we, for the first time ever, and we hosted it, we had the national championships not at the end of May for the individuals, but in November. And so our fall season was extended for many of the guys, just maybe 2 or 3 extra weeks. Okay. And so that put a little bit of extra strain on everybody. It lengthened out the amount of time that they were really training and competing. And so the break was maybe a little bit shorter for all of us. But most of the guys got an opportunity to go home or do some traveling at the end of exams around the 15th or so of December and have a couple of weeks. And then they start trickling back in after Christmas around the new year. And, for the last every year since I've been here, we've done a preseason trip, and it's really evolved over the last few years to going to Indian Wells. And so we spent 5 days out at Indian Wells training at the Vintage Club. Paula Hurd's so gracious with and so hospitable with having us and taking great care of us and giving us a balance of experiences and team bonding activities and just a lot of training on the court and in the gym.
What a great start. I mean, that is something really cool that you do, like you said, every year to kind of kickstart things and get you going for the spring.
It really is. I mean, they're not in classes yet, so they can be totally focused on their tennis and each other, and they spend a lot of quality time together, just trying to move themselves forward, but move the team forward. And tennis being such an individual sport, and what they're used to, coming together as a team and what they're about to endure, in the spring is so different from the fall. So they really do need to turn their attention to their peers, to their teammates, their brothers, and put them in front of themselves. And so it's a process that tennis players have to go through, but I mean, we have a really special group of guys, and I think that setting is just such an amazing one for them, and really all of the experiences that they get to have out there really set us up well. I mean, they come back here in a great frame of mind, really excited to start the season. Is
there a lot of tennis out there, or is it more doing things away from tennis, just team bonding?
I would say it is definitely a lot of tennis still.
Okay.
We're playing most of the days. We're playing a couple times a day. day.
Okay.
So maybe 4 or 5 hours on the court, using some time on the gym. Yeah, it's a lot of tennis. But it's so nice there that when you wake up in the morning, you get out it's, light out before 7, and we get out on the court at 7, and it's a crisp 55 degrees and no wind. It feels nice. By 8, it's 65 and perfect out there. And so we kind of got most of our training in maybe by 3 or so, and then we were able to do some different team activities. Went up the mountain, did some, went to a hockey game, had some dinners and, some different things like that. So it was really nice.
Very cool. As you look back on it, first time ever to have the singles and doubles in the fall separate from the team, which is coming up in the spring. As you look back on it, is it too early to ask you, did you like it? Is it good? Would you like to continue? You got any tweaks you'd like to see?
Being on the operating committee, for ITA, which is the governing body of college tennis, we've had to already have these conversations, and it does feel a little bit early because we want to kind of see how the team season shakes out. Are we going to all play clinch more often, meaning not play to 7 points? There's a lot of implications on individual rankings that are maybe not as important anymore when they're playing mostly to qualify for NCAAs. Well, that's past us, and now it really is more focused on the team, and maybe some decisions are going to be made that are a little bit different. We don't know until we experience it and kind of go through 1 year feeding into the next fall. But I thought it was positive. I thought of course we're biased being the hosts, but I really thought it was well received by the student athletes and the coaches. And there was some hesitation early on, but I'm a believer in it, and hopefully if it continues on this path, it will no longer be a pilot anymore. It'll be something we can do every year.
Good. The feedback you got from peer coaches, was that pretty favorable?
It was very favorable.
Okay.
Just even the statistics of how many guys pulled out. And the problem with having it in May, the day after the team finishes, is it becomes a bit of an afterthought. The best players are typically on the best teams too. They've had a long season. They either just won the national championship, or there's some real disappointment from losing, and then they have to roll back out there. Maybe if they're going to make a real run at it, 8, 9, 10, 11 days in a row of competition, and that's too much to ask for these student athletes. And so we had 14 withdrawals from singles last year, and we went all the way through the doubles withdrawal list, alternate list, which was 10 on a draw of 32. That's too many. And so this year, certainly there's a couple guys that either took the fall off or didn't come here until January that may have factored into NCAAs. But we had no withdrawals on the men's side, only 2 due to injury on the women's side. And so I think that's, those that are playing the pathway are committed, and I love that for our sport.
Very cool. And remind people, Baylor's hosting. This is, I know Jerry brought this up earlier, Jerry Hill, but I think we need a sign on the outskirts of town that says, "Welcome to Tennis Town." And we call Waco Tennis Town because think of all the events, the huge events that we're hosting this year, and there's plenty more coming up in the spring. This is Tennis Town.
I completely agree.
Let's do that. Let's
we
make
should
that
just
happen.
make it official.
I don't know. Jackie, open your checkbook and let's buy those signs, all right, on the outskirts of town.
She'd be happy to do that.
Right. I think that would be so cool. What if the teams are coming in and the sign says, "Welcome to Tennis Town"? It's cool. Everybody would like it.
I totally agree.
Who would not like it? What city, what school would not like that?
There's probably some people up in Fort Worth or maybe down in Austin that might feel differently about
I gotcha. Okay, good. Let's do it before Monday then. That's great. And continuing with Coach Michael Woodson, Baylor men's tennis coach. And I mentioned this earlier. They were in line at the time, but you've got most, if not all, of your team here. Bob Barrett's suggestion was, could you have these guys to stand up and you introduce them? This didn't work real well on radio. Maybe it does, or TV. But for the folks here in the audience, just introduce everybody.
I'd be happy to.
Good,
guys, can
thanks.
you stand up real quick, please?
Nice.
Okay, well, everybody's here. I think one might have just run to the restroom, so we'll catch him last.
Okay.
Back left is our most recent addition. This is Alex Krita from Romania.
Raise a hand.
Raise your hand, Alex.
Yeah, there he is. Okay.
He is an international graduate transfer, so he's going to be our second great Romanian at Baylor.
Love it.
So we're excited to have him here
Welcome,
with us.
Alex.
Next to him, raise your hand, Luke Koenig. Luke's a junior from South Africa. in front of them is Oscar Broström-Poulsen, a senior transfer from Middle Tennessee State that hails from Denmark. Next to him is Justin Braverman, is a senior from Naples, Florida. Justin, raise your hand. Thank you. Quentin Van Veek, Q we call him, from Curacao. That's probably a new one for most of you. He's a senior transfer from Nebraska, Omaha, and Davenport. In the very back, Imran Daniel Hasley is from Malaysia, so really going far away there. He is a lefty sensation on his way to the top. In front of him is a sophomore from England, Louis Bowden. And next to him is a sophomore from South Africa, Devin Badenhorst. In the very front here is Luis Jose Nakamine. We call him LJ. It turns out his nickname is Naka around the world. So next to him is Marko Milodinovic. He's from Belgrade, Serbia, senior captain, along with Oscar. Next to him is Zsombor Veltz. Raise your hand, Z. A junior from Hungary in my wonderful long sleeve. And then next to him is a junior from Frisco, Texas, Armand Zamani. Raise your hand, Armand. So that's everybody on the team.
Nice. Welcome, guys. We appreciate it. I think we've got the Big 12 Player of the Week in that group, right?
We do. That's Devin in the back.
Devin, congratulations on that. 3-0 last weekend. Big 12 Player of the Week, we're saying. So congratulations on that award. Very good. Very nice. Good group. And you are off to a 2-0 start. And two significant matches coming up the next few days. Tomorrow, 12:30, it will be number 4 Wake Forest. And then Monday evening at 6 p.m., 6 p.m., right?
Yes.
Monday at 6 will be number 2, TCU, the defending national champions. So way to jump right in with these two.
We're going to dive right in. Now, I think this group is ready for that. We've seen it over throughout the fall and coming into this preseason that this is a roster that can do some very special things. And they've made a lot of sacrifices to pursue the trophies this year, and all the trophies can be lifted in Texas and Waco. And so that's our goal. That's really what we're looking for. And so in order to do that, we need to test ourselves against the best. So to play two teams that were in the semis last year or better, we're right there with these teams. We believe that we can beat them. We have the talent and the experience to be able to do that, and so we need to know where we're at right away. So bring it on.
Great.
Yeah.
And again, Jerry Hill points out you're going to play Ohio State later. That's 3 of the 4 Final Four last year in men's tennis. How about that?
I know the only one we're not playing this year is Texas, but we're hoping we'll get them at national indoors and NCAAs, and
there you go.
That rivalry will continue in 2026. So I'm excited to at least make that known that we want to play the best teams, and Texas and Baylor are a great rivalry that's gone back many years. We want to keep that going.
Good. So you'll try to get them back on the schedule next year.
Yes.
Very good. Wake Forest, long way away, not a lot of history, I wouldn't think, but it's turned into a pretty good rivalry, hasn't it?
It has. I mean, they won the national championship in 2018, and so Coach Bresky's done a phenomenal job there. He always has a great team. I think they have a similar philosophy that we do. We just want to play the best teams in the country, and we want to make up our schedule of the best. And so we always look to find opportunities to play each other, and it usually works out. So I think it's a great test for both teams, especially this early on. Good.
And TCU, obviously, really good rivalry in all sports. How many times could you play TCU this year?
5.
5? Could be 5.
It could be 5, yeah. So and
that's great.
We've done it, I think, 21 and 22, we played them 4 times each each year. And so it's very possible. It's exactly what these guys want. Again, a top program, big rival. I mean, they'll tell you we're their biggest rival and vice versa.
Yeah.
And so, I think we're going to be battling for a lot of championships with them this year. And so why not get right to it,
Bring on.
Yeah, it's just – I think it's going to be a great test for us, and Coach Rudy does a great job, so we're excited.
All right, so that's Monday at 6 p.m. for Baylor and TCU. You're indoors for both of these?
Yes, we'll be inside through national indoors in February.
Gotcha, makes sense. And this will be a non-conference match with TCU.
Correct.
Obviously, you'll play them during the conference schedule outdoors.
Correct.
All right, very good. So that's coming up the next two, Wake Forest tomorrow and TCU coming up on Monday. We need to get to a break, and then we'll get to questions. We've got some good questions for you here, so I want to leave time for that. But introducing your team, we need to introduce this lady back here who is a huge part of these two, actually, huge parts of your team. Right?
Yes, I couldn't agree more.
Jackie,
stand up. Raise your hand.
Jackie.
The best director of operations in the nation,
Jackie.
right here.
Absolutely.
Not subjective.
Love you, Jackie. Yep. So thanks for that. And does so many things we couldn't even name them all in an hour of the show. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll get your questions from the audience. Some good ones for Coach Michael Woodson, Baylor men's tennis coach, our leadoff guest on the Baylor Coaches Show. You know this. You're a smart guy. You know this. When you have your team here and we ask for questions from the audience, you run the risk of some pretty good, maybe deep, probing questions.
Yeah, no, I cheated and looked at them already.
Yeah,
so I know I'm going to be
He
up
has
against
looked at
it
them
here.
already. But some really good questions from the audience. And let me also give you a chance to introduce your brother, TJ, who is here. Where's TJ?
TJ, can you stand up and wave to everybody? Not you, JoJo.
There he is back there.
TJ, my brother, is going to be a freshman here at Baylor playing baseball next year. So
Yeah,
just
that's
moved to
great.
Waco. We're
Way to go,
excited to have him.
TJ. We've been waiting for you for a while. Glad you're finally here. That is fun. All right, questions from the audience. First one, more of a comment than a question. Roy up front says, congratulations on win number 100. That's a
Thank
good
you
way to
very
start.
much.
Thank you, Roy, for that. Next one, which match are you looking forward to the most?
I mean, I'm looking forward to tomorrow because it's right in front of me, but I'm really looking forward to February 14th, the opportunity to host National Indoors at home. We don't know who we're going to play, but we know we're going to play Friday night at 6:30, and it's going to be the first time we've ticketed an event inside.
Wow.
And that's going to be a really special feeling. I think we're going to have a great crowd and a lot of excitement just to be competing for a national championship here at home. I think it's going to be really cool. So that one is circled on my calendar.
On Valentine's night.
That's right.
February
it's a great
14th.
place to take a date.
If you can get a ticket. Those tickets are going to go fast.
They
don't you
are going to
think?
go pretty fast.
Yeah.
You're right.
Are they available now or not till a little closer?
They'll go live on January 28th once
Okay.
everybody knows. So 8 teams are coming to Waco,
Okay.
8 teams are going to Dallas,
Okay.
and so on the 28th it will be announced which 8 teams are going to which site, and then we'll start selling tickets. Then.
Nice. Very good. All right. Great answer. Out of your 100 wins, which one is your favorite? How about that? Who asked that question? There's no name on here. You did.
Yeah,
All right.
of course, Marco. I knew this by the second one, but honestly, there's so many, too many to name. I mean, my favorite one is probably 2022 Big 12 Final when we beat TCU there. Just all the drama. Monty broke a gate, had his huge argument, controversy at the end of the first set. Then it rained towards the end of the match. We had to take 2 matches inside, play full third sets out indoors where we had never played, and Matthias ran away with the third set in some of the most incredible tennis that we've ever seen, and there was no video, nothing. The only video or pictures we have are from the last point. And so it really is a little bit special because you actually can't go back and watch it. And they don't have cameras or video in there. It's like a dungeon, ice skating rink. And so it was just a really cool feel because the fans were standing right on the next court. So all the fans that happened to still be there when it was done raining, it was maybe 200 fans, are all just standing right on the edge of the court with the players right in the middle. It was just a really surreal feeling. And I mean, I don't know if Matthias missed a shot, and Sven was actually about to win on the other court to clinch it too, and Matthias was winning so quickly he just ran right by Sven, and so it was a really special match, and I think it's something I'll never forget.
Wow, that's a great memory. That's really good. Okay, another question from Marco says, out of all the players' nicknames, which one is your favorite?
Yeah, I mean, Goose is my favorite nickname. That's Marco. He has a lot of different names. We call him the Prime Minister. We call him Chef Goose. I mean, he's just a lovable character, you know, and so we have a lot of great names for him. I've actually been thinking about this at the beginning of the year. We really need to have some great nicknames for all the other guys, and so maybe that's an exercise that we can do because Marco has about 8, and we need some of these other guys to have some cool names too.
Marco, you need to share some of your nicknames. So next time you're on, we'll go through nicknames, okay?
I think that's a good challenge.
Newly minted nicknames for your guys. Teresa Bankeli is right there. Teresa asked, good question, approximately how many pairs of tennis shoes and do players need for the entire season?
This is a conversation we have all the time with our budget finance office, because tennis is different than every other sport in that maybe you'd have a bunch of different basketball shoes, but you don't need more than maybe one or two pairs, unless it truly blows out because the surface doesn't have as much friction. But in tennis on a hard court, these guys are playing with a high level of physicality, and so they're really sliding, which pushes the rubber on a surface with high friction, a very grainy surface. And so it's actually probably around 2 weeks for every pair of shoes. So some guys will go a little bit longer, some a little bit shorter, but I would say the average pair is probably 20 to 25 pairs a year, which is a ton.
That's wild. But, you got to do it with the way they're putting the putting the load on those shoes.
You have to keep them fresh. You don't want them running around with holes in their shoes. Yeah. And we've got a little like goo glue, and we do some things that you might need to just to stretch the shoe a little bit. And guys burn through their shoes in different ways. Some rip shoelaces because they slide on the side of the shoe, and some different weird things that are specific to them. But yeah, I would say on average between 2 and 3 weeks for
really
one pair of shoes.
All right, that's good. Scott Van Kelly is right here, into the table. Scott asks, who is the most competitive person in your family? Not on the team, but the most competitive in your family.
There is not a wrong answer. That is the truth. I'm tempted to say one of my daughters, because they're just so incredibly competitive. But I actually think it's Vanessa. My wife is the most competitive person in our family.
There you go.
And she's very unassuming. She doesn't like the spotlight. She tries not to show it, but she holds us all to the highest standard. And she is the toughest one of all of us for sure. So I'm going to say her.
All right, very good. Vanessa, who is in the back, way in the back, out of the spotlight. Great answer there. All right, which member? Bob asked, which member of the team is the biggest complainer?
That's
now,
tough.
well, to be fair, I said, do you want to ask this question? You want to answer this? And he said, sure, go ahead.
All of them are just hoping I don't say their name.
All right.
It's funny. I think the guy that we are working on the most with turning excuses into solutions would actually be our Big 12 Player of the Week, Devin.
All right, Devin.
Who was hoping I wouldn't call him out for that. Marco likes to tell a lot of stories that maybe frame a complaint, but he won't just say it directly.
I got you.
But I'll give this one to Devin.
All right, very good. There you go, Devin. And then Bob also says who is kind of a balance here. Who is the number one leader on your team?
Yeah, this is an interesting one, and I'm gonna turn right around and say somebody I was just mentioning, but they're the obvious guys. Oscar and Marco are our captains. They've done a phenomenal job of growing into those roles and leading this team. But I think leadership is so much more than just the title. It's everybody owning their role to their best ability, and I would say there's two guys that stand out to me. One is actually Devin. He's grown into this leader on the court, of just showing guys how it's done as a competitor, as a guy that's playing in big matches. Especially at his age, being at the top of the lineup is not an easy thing for somebody to do, and I think he's owned that through the fall really well, and I think it's a lot of pressure, and so I've been very impressed with him. And then on the flip side, LJ has just been incredible as a leader. He's a freshman. He hasn't been here that long, but he just does an incredible job in everything that you ask of him. And I think I can see the team changing in their personality and the way they just go about all of their business because his attention to detail is so great. And so it's easy to say the captains are our best leaders, and I think they're the most put together individuals, in general, but the guys that don't get the opportunity to be named yet, but lead this team in their own way, are really, really impactful. And so I would say those two stand out for me.
Very good. All right, good questions, great answer. One more. Who do you think is the funniest guy on the team? And also adding, choose one. Don't say too many names. Can you choose one?
The funniest event I've ever seen, which would make me feel like the funniest guy is actually somehow Z.
Okay.
You know, is Z, Armand, and Marco getting together and interacting with someone and making them laugh is the funniest thing I've ever seen. But the funniest one guy is probably Louis.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. Would you guys agree with that? Usually, among the team, there's a consensus of, it's this guy. It's Louis,
is there one guy, Oscar? Marco's pretty funny.
All right, very good.
But he's always looking like he knows he's funny, and so he's going out there trying to get laughs, and he's very good at it. But I think Louis doesn't even realize sometimes how funny he is, and everybody's just in a better mood, when he gets going.
That's a great compliment. Guys, it's great to have you here. Good luck this weekend. Good luck this season. We'll have you back, Coach, a little bit later in the spring. Big spring, Baylor hosting the ITA National Indoors, hosting the Big 12s, hosting the NCAA Outdoor Championships right here in Tennistown, USA, Waco, Texas. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate
Always
it.
a
Michael
pleasure.
Woodson, Baylor men's tennis coach.